If you've thought about making a move to the greater Seattle area, but you're not quite sure what city to call home, you've come to the right place. Today we're going to explore Mountlake Terrace, Washington, located in Snohomish County, just north of Seattle. Let's jump right in and discuss the top reasons of why Mountlake Terrace might be a great city for you to decide to call home. Mountlake Terrace is located just 13 miles north of Seattle, Washington, on the southern border of Snohomish County, and situated right in between the cities of Linwood, Washington, which I covered in an earlier video, so be sure to check out that video if you're curious about other cities around Seattle, and also close to the city of Shoreline, which is located in King County. With over 269 acres of public areas for their residents and the visitors to enjoy while checking out Mountlake Terrace, it's easy to see why you might want to call this area home. They have parks and trails and play fields and disc golf. They have a community center and a splash pad and a lazy river at the community center swimming pool. They also have tennis courts which are being restored. Mountlake Terrace really is going through a lot of renovations at this point, and they've also turned in a private city-owned golf course into a public area, which is Ballinger Park, and it's a 55-acre park, and we'll take a look at that as well. If you haven't checked out Ballinger Park in Mountlake Terrace, you definitely need to take a visit. You can come for a picnic, play sports on the green area. It actually used to be a city-owned public golf course, and they have turned it over to a public city use facility with 55 plus acres of green space. And look around me, it is just gorgeous. And not a lot of people are around. And there are these little pockets of little areas that feel very private, and it's just really beautiful just to hang out by the lake right in the middle of the city. You would never know you were just minutes away from total convenience, and it's pretty quiet. It is a beautiful day in the Pacific Northwest. It's about 80 degrees almost, and I am really surprised. I have hardly seen anyone at Ballinger Park. It's about 12 o'clock, and I think I've seen 2 people. So if you are looking for somewhere to kind of escape everyday life for a little bit, this is a great area to do that and just hang out and enjoy the beautiful landscaping. With the Mountlake Terrace Transit Center located right off of I-5 and servicing major routes for the King County Metro, Community Transit, and Sound Transit, this is an ideal place to catch bus routes for commuting. With the addition of the Link Light Rail also being added to the transit center, and the expansion is scheduled to be completed in 2020, it will provide a very quick and easy way to travel as far down south to SeaTac International Airport and even as far north up to Everett. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so you're alerted when new videos come out, as I will be covering the Link Light Rail in a future video. Mountlake Terrace has grown substantially since it was first established in the 1950s, and it is undergoing a transformation. Mountlake Terrace was established in the early 1950s by developers who purchased an abandoned airstrip that actually looked like a terrace. They began filling it with 640 square foot cinder block houses, priced at just $5,000, and were aimed for World War II veterans with young families. With that abandoned airstrip resembling a terrace, the developers also noticed that they could see views of Mount Rainier from certain locations and also Lake Washington, so hence the name Mountlake Terrace. Fun fact that a lot of people actually don't even know about. Mountlake Terrace City is really trying to embrace more of a centralized downtown feel, where tourists and visitors have more of a welcoming place to visit. They are also expanding roadways and making pedestrian crossings safer, and also adding bike lanes throughout the city. Centralized new downtown area of Mountlake Terrace has a combination of mixed-use buildings, and from the latest thing that I had read, it might have changed, but they did have a limitation of a 7-story max in the central block of the new city center and up to 5 stories in surrounding blocks, with hopes of growing beyond just a commuter town. So it's kind of interesting because Linwood is really known as a big commuter town, and I like the fact that Mountlake Terrace is really embracing the new vision of their city and wanting to attract new residents, along with having it just be a welcoming place for people to come and visit as well. They're doing a great job in expanding their roadways and adding pedestrian crossing in a safer manner, and also even adding bike lanes throughout. Overall living in Mountlake Terrace is ranked as a B+, and it's coming in as number 58 as one of the best Seattle suburbs to live in. Population of Mountlake Terrace is 21,980, and the school system is part of the Edmonds School District. The largest employer in the city of Mountlake Terrace is Primera Blue Cross. Healthcare is always an important thing to think about, and you have local hospitals very close to you. There's Swedish in Edmonds, and you're also pretty close to UW Medical Center in the University of Washington district, along with commuting up to Everett for the local hospitals there. And if you're considering other cities or you're not sure exactly where to go, make sure to check out some of my other city guides. Another cool fact about Mountlake Terrace is it's just 5 miles away from the beautiful Puget Sound in Edmonds, and within 100 miles of 6 national parks, forests, and mountains. So if being outdoors is your thing, there's never a shortage of opportunities. At the time of this video, home ownership versus renting is just about even. 53% own their home, while 47% of residents in Mountlake Terrace rent. Currently, there are 22 homes for sale within the city of Mountlake Terrace. They range anywhere from $550,000 for a 672 square foot house, which is one of those originals that I had mentioned of when the city was established, all the way up to $950,000, which is a 2,150 square foot home. The price for an average home in Mountlake Terrace, according to the June statistics, was $739,475, and it has almost gone up $40,000 above last year's median home price. Days on market is just 5, so it is still a pretty competitive area to actually buy a home within the city of Mountlake Terrace. As in all cases go of any sort of changing city, Mountlake Terrace is also expanding in their restaurant choices, which is incredible. There's some great little new options in the town center, and then there's a great strip mall that's one of my favorites just up the street from the new town center. It has Snohomish Pico and Diamond Knot. I am in the famous Mountlake Terrace Double D Meats, and as you can see, they have every single kind of sauce that you can imagine. The meat and poultry is fantastic, and they have some of the best pickles. So if you're thinking about moving to Mountlake Terrace, this could be right in your neighborhood, and how awesome would that be? Even though Mountlake Terrace is constantly changing right now, it's still embracing its long-held tradition of hosting Tour de Terrace since 1993. Tour de Terrace has been run by a small group of dedicated volunteers along with support of the local businesses around. And what it is it's a kickoff to the big Seattle Seafair weekend, which is always following Tour de Terrace. Tour de Terrace happens on the last weekend of July, and you can find classic cars, trucks, and motorcycles, floats, and even features participation from the local high school athletes of Mountlake Terrace. And there's even an appearance by the Seafair Pirates, which is always a local favorite. The Grand Marshal is actually the owner of Double D Meats. It's really cool to see how businesses really support the local festivities of Tour de Terrace. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'm looking forward to helping you figure out what your next move is. bye.